Welcome to the Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon, so a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Christoph Fournier, John Travolta, JMels24, Unamento, M Iron26, Endless, Flat Earth Sage, Goldie McKiernan, Retro Bill, More Books, Canna Bear, Fibre Oats, Rob H, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Will Brax, Mel B Styles, Troy Shuker, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Neo the One, Rob W, Open Minded, Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Maria Neelands, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, The Real Gabster, Abraham Mohammed, Adrian Quintana, Skeptic936, Life is Short, Texas Mike, and David Wayne Foster. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Gilded and G+, so you can enjoy their conversation while I set up for today's live show.
You can like slip in undetected. That's how I actually came. That's how I actually woke up. I refuse to listen to anybody else. And these videos being shoved in my face left, right, and center when the algorithm was working at its best. Right? Who do I listen to? Who do I listen to out of everybody? Red's rhetoric. Out of all these people telling me, you know, it's this, listen to us. I'd be like, no, you guys are crazy. I'm not listening to any of you guys. I deliberately avoided them like the plague. Like the plague. But I don't avoid Red's rhetoric. He's on my side. Right? He's going to show me something I've been looking forward to. It was the boats going over, right? Time lapse. I'll watch this. Right? That was my, what is it, a red pill or blue pill? But anyways, this guy's, that's a red pill or blue pill, whatever one it is. That's what Red Riddick was to me. He slipped through my defenses. Because after I watched that video, the next suggested video was Jainism, a direct debunk to that video. I was curious. I'm like, how can anybody debunk this? So I bit. But it came in undetected, right? It wasn't like in my face. It was very subtle. It was like a Trojan horse, is the saying, right? But inside the horse was the truth, right? They're like the real truth, what I thought wasn't truth.
Well, to me, the penny dropped when I understood that the gravity wasn't a force, and Einstein has been debunked gravity as being a force in 1915. So the understanding of that to me was the pennies dropping everything. The house of cards just collapsed.
We all have different penny drops, right? We all have different things that convince us, right? What convinced you may not convince somebody else, and vice versa.
Well, we know that water finds its level. It cannot be a water ball, if you know what I mean. Water needs to be contained. Not having this force of gravity, I mean, there is no other explanation.
Right. But even if something is that blunt and that obvious, we find out that these things don't always work. See, not one shoe fits all for everybody. Something that's super insignificant to you might be very significant to somebody else.
Can hear you, Neil.
Busy working.
Mic check.
We can hear you, Neil.
Hey, Neil.
You're good, Neil. Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Hello.
I have a new headphone, so I just want to make sure the mic is working. Continue.
Loud and clear.
Oh.
What about this spinning water ball?
Now, one of the first videos that I've seen on the internet that led me to this was a documentary, if I'm not mistaken, was Convex Earth or something like that. So an Earth in space with two different realms separated by Antarctica in between them. This was based on South American researchers and cartographers and so on. They did their tests and they came to the conclusion that, as everybody else, water, it's always level and so on. And they finally sent a weather balloon up in the air, and they recorded the continent that it doesn't exist on the map beyond Siberia. So this would be in the north. And that's what brought my curiosity to it. Regardless of these continents are not being real, that is what it brought me to research it more. And then was Eric Dubay and so on. And then Jaron led me to Nathan, which was very good.
Anybody else?
Oh, what led me to Nathan was seeing that debate between these like three students. They were like, I don't know, students out of school or something. They were pretty young, and they were debating allegedly Dave. I think Irlanducci was on there too, and I think one or two other guys. And after I watched that show, YouTube had the word debate in it because the YouTube algorithm worked really good back then. Because I had the word debate in it, the Nathan show because his name had debate in it, and Effie.
So that's how you found Nathan show?
That's how I found Nathan show. Yeah.
Wow.
After I seen that debate show, I was like, well, let me check out this debate show. Right. I found it, and I was like, originally in the days, I would used to listen to Nathan like after I come to the gym, and I'd usually fall asleep after coming to the gym. Right. You're tired, and you just want some background noise to fall asleep to. And then one time I woke up to like Nathan screaming at somebody. I think it was Charles Math, right? And I was like, what's going on? This guy's putting this baller in his places. I'm like, I don't know. It was, I guess you could say it was entertainment. I
That
was
was
in
the
it for
shocking thing
entertainment
to me
value
too, right?
originally.
How the ballers were getting put in their place. It was usually the other way around, you know. And then you hear this guy coming.
But I'll say this,
and putting them in their place.
But I'll say this: I have changed my attitude about this. Where originally it was about entertainment, now I'm like, I don't know. Let's just say I've come a long way. But that's what
It wasn't the
originally got me.
entertainment for me. It was the fact that Nathan had the upper hand. The guys on this flat earth debate, they had the upper hand.
Right. It was nice to see that change because everywhere else on every other platforms, it seemed like they had the upper hand in like the view of the audience, right? So it was like refreshing to see our side have the upper hand in view of the audience, right?
Exactly.
Have you seen the opposite is happening in chat? So when they first came in, they were all serious and going to debunk the topic. Then when they got lambasted and lost on every argument, they say in chat, yeah, I just come here for entertainment. So the ballers now just come here for entertainment because they can't beat the arguments.
I can't argue against that because I was part of that too, in a sense, you could say.
Well, it's a tell.
They can say that because quoting Mr. Sensible, at the best we've debunked the R value. So bye ball.
I don't think they really think about the things that they say. They just blurt it out of their mouth.
Yeah, that's what conditioning does. They've been told all their life these faulty answers. They think just by repeating it, it suffices the question. And then they get torn apart because in class, when the teacher gave that same answer, no one said anything. Now we say, well, define that word.
Yeah, but to say something like that, that best you debunk the radius, you're not taking anything into consideration.
Well, he is, but he isn't. Meaning, look, we're still a ball. Just because we got the R off a little bit, we still have R. But he doesn't realize the ramifications of that statement.
Exactly.
You can't walk back anything from the globe model because it ceases to be a globe model when you do.
Yep. Like Brian says, what about all the star movements? Right? What about the way they're placed in the sky? You can't just change the radius.
Yep. That's what the term the term ball game over has a new meaning. Patent that, trademark that, ball game over. I'll go design a t-shirt with the globe with an X through it. Ball game over.
But it is over. I mean, there's nothing left. You're just picking up the pieces now.
Sounds like a title to a song.
Yeah, we've got a couple of issues. One is Gilded's very new, and it's unfamiliar to people who are familiar with doing this sort of thing, joining a live stream and having a chat, which doesn't work in our favour. And the other is that the numbers of the live show have gone down in the last month since I've been fiddling with the computer. So those two things need to be addressed. So how we get Discord out to more people, I'd normally say, oh, well, that's just a question of time because people in the audience will see it and join. But if there's less audience members for whatever reason, then alternatives need to be sought out in order to acquire more participation from the Gilded server. Or we need to change the Gilded server back to Discord if unfamiliarity is going to leave us with nobody challenging us. And if there's nobody coming to watch at the time, that'll be a downward spiral that we need to resolve quickly.
Yeah, that happened to people who were forced out of YouTube for obvious reasons. They went to these other platforms, and unless people followed them there and took on the new format, they had a smaller audience.
Right. Well, the audience is easily rectified by the quality of the show going up. Well, with 100% attention from me, I don't see any reason why that can't be the case. But by the same token, it's a participation-based show. In other words, the whole point is that there's a public link. And although I've said in the past there's been lulls, after you do something technical and difficult, you kind of want to get your teeth back into a fundy, don't you? Or at least I do. So, you know, if I can give that some encouragement in whatever way it needs to be encouraged, then so be it.
That's why I requested the one day for those that have been banned to come on. Just one day.
Nah, I'm only interested in putting this to people who are new. The people who have already overcome all their arguments. I'm not interested in rehashing old arguments with old people who have already proven themselves to be deceitful. That's not of interest to me, Neil. Now, there's plenty of other people out there, let's be honest, that have seen what we do here and tried to replicate it. And the easiest way to replicate it is to rehash what's already been done, isn't it? Just go through the motions that's already been done. Now, I could moan all day and go, oh, well, we were the pioneer. Who cares? You know, life doesn't stand still. So it doesn't make any difference. Now, if you want to see Brenda or Rumpus or whoever having their ass handed to them, the people that you specifically say, there's only been a couple that have been banned. And Brenda's one of them, mainly because she said, my kid should be removed. That's why she's not welcome here, in case you were unaware. I said, well, if you're going to basically imply that when I'm debating the nature of Earth, then you're not welcome. Rumpus, because he was proven a deceitful shit on multiple occasions, and one that was laid out in the most obvious and simplistic terms to him, and he continued to lie. Again, I don't want him here. But as for putting this under the nose of people who think that they can correct us, maybe a different tact in terms of we would like you to convince us otherwise. Maybe we're looking for a route back to the ball. We just can't find one. We need our path elucidating by you, Mr. General Public, who obviously knows better about the ball. Now, maybe we are just dumb. Maybe we just don't realise how bally the world is and we just need it explaining to us. Maybe there's something new that we've missed. And I'm sure there's somebody out there that can tell us that. They just need the show putting under their nose to maybe lead us back to the light, if that's how it needs to be phrased.
Well,
There's such
I share the show on the regular. Every time they go up, I share them. So listen, if they're going to come in, they're going to come in. If they're not, they're not. We're still going to push forward, correct?
There's a very large audience out there, Nathan. Very large audience. If you tidy up the show, change it a little bit, you're going to tap into it.
Afternoon, guys.
Hey, Adam.
Hello, Your Eminence.
I do.
Eminence, emissary, eminence. Hey, this is just Adam.
What
If
we're
you're going to
tapping
go
into.
that way, hold on. If you're going to go that way, it's got to be the Adam Beacon. If not, it's Your Eminence.
Yeah.
No,
Well, according to YouTube, that is my app designation now. So I'll
Well,
stick with it. The Adam
I'll stick-
Meekin.
yeah, I'll call you ambassador. How's that?
That'll do. Meekin. Will do.
I am milking it. What are you talking about?
Since we are speaking to the ambassador, anything new? Have they come forth with any definitions of the words QE requested?
Nah, I don't think they're going to come back to us, mate. I think that's they've, as they've said, severed ties.
Good riddance.
So they've got no interest in it and expressing the point. It would appear, or making it clear to us. So we'll just have to watch, see if we can figure out what they're going on about.
Well, if they're not going to define the words they use, then why are they using them? Don't
They
people
have.
realize that?
Neil, they did define it, they did use it, and they did express it. It's not manifest. They can't prove it through the scientific method. Half of them say you can. The argument is falling apart on their camp with the two sides divided against each other, not us.
Word.
Let them get their act together. How can people over there be against each other and all four parties, in this case, two sides, come and say we're bad when they can't even get it right? I mean, it's just logic here.
That's just part of being the king of the hill, right? When you're the king of the hill, try to come up and knock you off.
Well, the
But
hill
our
is
feet are planted firmly at
yeah,
the top.
but the hill's refracted to them.
That's funny.
It's a little similar to kind of woke policies in the States at the moment. A woke policy is unifying the Republicans. Yet that same woke policy within the Democrats is tearing them apart because 50% agree with it and 50% disagree with it, whereas all the Republicans are against it. And that, I think, is what will happen. We're sat on this Republican side with the scientific method against these woke policies, such as Ether. They're the ones that are going to work it out that this woke policy is not practical.
It's a good comparison.
So,
Let me sleep on it. Let me sleep on it, and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
is what you're saying, Adam, that there's a transition taking place and we've just already made the transition? And there's other people that will be arguing about how and why the transition needs to take place, if it needs to take place at all, and that will tear them apart. Meanwhile, the people who are behind them, i.e. after them, will do whatever they say and just go along with whatever the status quo is. And prior to them actually figuring whatever that is out, we're already past that stage here over on Flat Earth Debate and many others. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, because there's an inevitability to the process, isn't there? If you're seeking truth, then you're only going to accept people's word for so long. You're eventually going to demand evidence of that proof. And I think that's what we've been through with them to try and we've asked for this evidence. We've not been given it. So we've had to come to that conclusion. Now, you only believe people for so long. Eventually, I'd say in this flat earth realm that we're searching, we're all truth seekers. So eventually you are going to want to confirm that for yourself. So all that's happening is, certainly for me, they're delaying the argument that is inevitable. But we're done, aren't we? We've moved past the argument, we've decided and moved forward. That doesn't mean we're not open to any evidence. Of course we are. We're truth seekers. But none's been presented, so we just need to move forward with that knowledge and park it there until something new or fresh comes to appraise it, to support it, or...
Done.
Yeah. Did you like my new intro,
You what?
by the way?
Did I like you what?
My new intro for Flatsoid.
I haven't seen it.
I will post it in the war room now. Would you maybe play it as a
Yeah,
plug
of course.
for it?
No worries.
There it is, #P. There you go. It's loading up now. It'll be there. It's 114 meg. So take a minute. We had to. You wanted an uplifting kind of 90s feel to it. So hopefully I've hit the brief. I think he's quite chuffed. I managed to keep it just over a minute, Nathan.
Okay.
Did you say 90 feel?
90s.
98.
I've got nothing yet.
It's virtually there. My circle's nearly full. It's nearly blue.
I take it you took the right angle to that music to his intro.
Well, Flatsoid picked the music. I said, get a, you pick the tune. We'll find something that's copyright.
Oh, it's shorter than I expected. That's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I've left him in like 30 seconds just with a frozen image because it's for him to load up and just know he's live. So that will
Very
sit there
good.
until he presses
I like
play.
it. I like it a lot.
Cheers.
Yeah, that reminds me of that one song.
Oh, by the way, sorry, headphone warning.
A little
Yeah.
bit late, don't you think?
I didn't know it was going to be that loud. I had no idea. I did turn it down.
It was a bit loud, wasn't it? Render it loud because then you can turn it down. Nothing worse than a sound being crap.
Very
I've
good.
got some work to do for you now, Nathan. That was the point. I'm free. So whenever you wish, just give me a shout and
Brilliant.
it doesn't take as long. Most of the graphics are there. We've just got to play with it a bit and just get it how you want it.
Maybe a new song.
You want a whole new intro?
I don't know. I don't know what I want. Does it need?
I think that. Yeah.
I don't know what I want. I haven't given it much thought, but it needs a tickle. For sure.
That's tweakable, isn't it? I've got all the bits, so
Just needs a bit of
Adam, no.
freshening up. That's all.
Adam, just scratch the surface, but no tweaking.
or twerking.
That's what I meant. Yeah, I'm meeting up with some flat earthers here that I was told about. So I made an arrangement to meet them on Friday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see what we can get going here in my new state of residence.
There's a local flat earth group, is there, all there?
They had one meeting at a venue, I understand. So I'm going to find out how deep their connections are and see what I could do to help them and be a part of it.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's nice. I came my way. So word's getting out. There's a planetarium nearby too at a school. So I'm going to go see if I could take a course in it. Can you imagine the questions I might have?
I can picture you sitting there with your sextant.
I'm going to say, what's an angle? Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. The university has an off-campus too, so I wonder if they have a astronomy class. I'll even take that. I got all the books. I might as well.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
What they're going to tell you is, over here, the ground, the surface is moving, but that's not really how it is. That's what they told me at the planetarium.
Well, this is the thing. And how much time do we got? Yeah, we got 10 minutes. This is the thing. The celestial sphere model is a flat Earth model that's motionless. And when I asked a navigator directly, who has a good YouTube channel, when I first started researching why they would do that, the answer was because it's easier. So
I got it backwards. I'm sorry. In the planetarium, the ceiling was moving, the sky, like whatever they made to be the sky, and they tell you, but that's not how it is. In reality, it's the Earth moving.
Right, but that's the whole thing. They have to go back. Okay, so we got those warnings on all the flat Earth channels saying this is archaic, old time, blah, blah, blah. It's not necessarily a true statement because we've discovered the globe and it's spinning. And then when you dig down deep and say, well, why does the globe that's spinning need to go to the archaic way of doing things for it to work? Because the globe ain't spinning, the sky is.
That archaic thing bothers you, right?
No, it's a death nail for them because everything, think about an elevation angle. Okay, think about the celestial sphere model with a flat Earth that's stationary, not spinning. They have to use reality in order for it to work, but then they'll call it archaic because they want you to believe in the false heliocentric spinning monkey ball.
Right, it's the same thing with the other day we were talking about how my brother said in the Bible it says the circle of the earth, and then he puts that with God hangs the earth on nothing, and they put it in space because that's how they're programmed. If they were never programmed about space, you would never put that together.
And the science of space.
Say that again?
The science of space.
Yeah. It'd be like a vegetarian promoting veganism, but he's caught eating meat And then when they say, wait a minute, you're supposed to be a vegetarian. What are you doing eating meat? Well, because this is the way I stay alive, and this is how it works.
And the conditioning continues daily. If you have a television, you don't have to have a television. The conditioning is everywhere. You'll see planets and movies about space. Everywhere you turn. People talking in sports. Oh, he has low center of gravity. You know, things like that. It's all over. So
Most people regurgitate just about everything on every subject there is. If you take time, whether it's sports or anything, and just listen to what people say, it's just a repetition of what they heard someone else say without much thought into, does it even have any meaning? Does it tie to this point? Like I'll always say, because in sales, you have to listen really good because the buyer's telling you what he wants and doesn't want. And you're there for the buyer. You're not there to make a commission. You're there so the buyer says, I want that product. Now, guess what? You make a commission when he says that. So you got to listen to the buyer and give him what he wants, or else you're not going to get the second part, the commission. So it's like, well, what do you mean by that? Can you elaborate? I don't quite understand. Can you give me an example? And then oh my gosh, it doesn't work, does it? I mean, they'll catch themselves eventually when logic hits them.
yeah, but look at something like the Coriolis, right? If everybody understood how that really is broken down, then how could a pitcher playing baseball understanding that the earth is not spinning?
Neil, they haven't given it that kind of thought. That's the point. That's why they're
I know, that's what I'm
regurgitating.
saying. If they understood it, though, there's no way that they couldn't catch it.
Adam,
They don't understand it.
are you there?
Yes, mate.
Does 10th and Neil sound rough to you?
Neil does, but Grady.
I changed my mic.
Well, you sound. No, I'm just the same mic I used yesterday.
Yeah, but you're chopping a bit, cutting.
How about me now?
Yeah, you sound fine now, Neil.
Okay.
How about me right now?
Yeah, now you sound fine.
I knew it too. I knew I wasn't sounding correct.
You both sound fine now. I just didn't know if it's the hangout, but as soon as Adam started talking, I realised it's just both. You've both probably got weak connections. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Carry on, Neil. Carry on, Neil. Go on, Neil. What were you saying?
I'm not using the headphones right now, so if it sounds better like this, then I'm not going to use the headphones anymore.
Yeah, it sounds better the way you're doing it now.
Yeah.
Back to what Neil and I were talking about, if I may. Be patient, Neil, and just with sincerity in your eyes say, look, I just want you to contemplate the words you're using. Think what you're saying, and is there any evidence to back it up? Or have we been programmed to say these things since birth? That's all I'm doing, brother. That empathy, they can't argue with the empathy and the care.
That's true.
Who's in Gilded right now?
The regulars, but
I'm in Gilded.
Hey, Dank. Hey, Wandek.
Hey guys, all right.
And Josh here.
One deck.
Afternoon, Gilded.
Good afternoon. Adam.
Afternoon. Adam. Yes, mate.
Yes. Any new poems?
I've not at the moment, 10th. I have sort of scribbled something down that I've not been back to yet. It was, but it's not finished yet. But I'm always thinking about things and scribbling things down. So yeah, there'll be one out. There'll be one out soon, mate.
The
Can you do
glow is
one on
fat.
Can you do one on the
Sorry, go on.
Matrix?
Do you want me to do one on the Matrix?
The Matrix of lies that embody this topic.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
then
did.
use-
I did have one, didn't I? Which was a little, but well, I did do that, didn't I? But I did read it out in an angry way. I can read it out. I can read it out. I can read it out. I can take the swearing out of it, actually.
When you say when you say you read it in an angry way, what do you mean? You change your tonality or what? What do you mean?
You are
I changed my tone.
You're definitely sounding rough tense. I don't know if you can do anything about it.
All right, let me rejoin. Let me get out and rejoin.
But don't take the swearing out. If you wrote it with swearing in it, keep the swearing in it.
Hello.
Hello, Owen.
Yeah. You've heard it, but it was the same old story, and it does sort of pick up on what Tenth was just saying about the lies and everybody talking shite, basically.
As we're in the middle of the pre-show as opposed to right at the beginning of the live show, can you give us a rendition and then we'll move into the live show?
It's called Same Old Story, and it's shut up about this fucking globe. The story's getting old. Same old, same old. Yes, shut up about this fucking globe. Reminds me of stale old mould. Rebuttal's cold. Story not sold. Getting old. Truth unfold. Fool's gold. Old globe. Story not sold. Same old shite. The shite globe fight. Yes, that's right. The same old shite globe flight. Get your fucking facts right before you come to fight. Yeah, that's right. Same old globe shite. Angles from curves, bent straight lines, disappearing boats, helium doesn't float, gravity in space, bending of time, 7 horizons, make up your fucking minds. The globe is a joke, the story's getting old, so shut up about your spinning fucking globe. All the lying bullshit is growing fucking old.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Now, we are joined by Neil, the Adam Meakin, Arwin, 10th Man, and a whole bunch of people in Gilded, so welcome one and all.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, tell us about the globe.
Enthusiastic start as I go and manually turn off my studio light as the batteries run out on my remote control. But now I'm sitting comfortably. Let's do a bit of housekeeping. We haven't done a full housekeeping session for probably a month, so let's see if we can make today the first. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge?
No.
That's the horizon, formerly known as Earth curve. I love it. I get interrupted by a no, and then
What
there's a
happened to
protracted
Neil?
silence at the end of the question. That's fantastic. What a great
I
start.
said no.
Nathan, I'm afraid I have some bad news. It's doing it again.
Ah, for the love of Jesus. Okay. I have no idea why.
What's doing what?
The stream's
Yeah,
stuttering like all...
YouTube's like super stalled.
I don't know. This iGPU just seems to peg itself at 100% for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Okay. Well, we'll still carry on recording. I've cut the live stream, so took on much sales while I see if I can figure out this issue.
All right. So to the question, no, there's no physical geometric.
No, the horizon is not the leading edge of a sphere. It moves with the weather. We all know that.
Yeah, one day it's closer, one day it's farther.
Yeah, black swans show us.
So it's perspective and optical all along.
Yeah, that's correct. There's no way you
In
can
fact, that's-
measure a radius like that, because the radius will vary every day.
Correct. That's what the older books that are written in the 1800s against the ballers all say. It talks about it all being perspective and due to temperature and all that.
Next.
It's like even for for normies, if you go and just research the evidence, it just tells you some pathetic things. And if you just Google scientific evidence, not that you maybe can get scientific evidence of the curve, but the answers that you get, if newbies are listening and want to do it, is absolutely pathetic, because it mentions the boat disappearing over horizon, which has been debunked. It even says things like climb a tall tree to see the curve, and then it goes on about bloody eclipses, which is nothing to do with the Earth. It's what's happening in the skies. So everything they tell you is just speculation, and it's all absolutely pathetic if you look into it.
How tall is that
That's
tree
a
according
geometrical
to?
claim, isn't it?
How tall would that tree have to be according to Neil deGrasse Tyson before you see curve?
Bloody hell, it has to be some heights, I think, something like I can't remember is it 58 miles or something? Oh,
Yeah, but that would be a violation of their own model, isn't it? Their own model dictates that the sphere in question has a radius of 3959 miles. So the horizon cannot be too far out. It's 1.2 times the observer's height in feet. So that would be a violation of the model.
Correct.
but yeah, but
Biology teacher programmed me. My biology teacher programmed me with the tree thing, and I actually like somehow accepted it somehow. Like I somehow imagined that like if you were high enough, you could. I don't know how that worked, but I guess it was a magic trick of some sort. Yeah, biology teacher. That was in high school, maybe like grade 10. And I also
but
read an
that-
article
it's
about the
there.
tree thing too. That actually they use
It's
that.
there. It's there for newbies. It's there for newbies who just take it for granted. If you actually look at what they're telling you, it is when you just zoom in and think about it a little bit, it's ridiculous what they're telling you and what the evidence is. It's not evidence. It's lies. And this is what people need to start doing: is actually researching it, thinking about it, and doing some proper research about it, because there's nothing there to prove the Earth globe.
When I was
And
in
here's
New
why it's so
York,
effective. It's because everybody. I'll just be quick. It's effective because everybody takes for granted that we know, right? And because we know, we don't look at it so closely. Anyways, go on, Tant. I'm sorry.
no, I was going to say it's they're just being magicians here, because when I was in New York, when the World Trade Centers were still standing, we went up to one of the towers that had the restaurant on top. Now, at ground level, I remember my friend and I looked straight up and said, "Man, this is a tall, tall building." And we looked around, and all we saw was other tall buildings. We couldn't see this Statue of Liberty from the ground. We get up there, and we have this panorama view. And we see the Statue of Liberty with a depression angle. And looks so small. So if you consider that the top of the World Trade Center I was at is the tree that the person climbs, you're going to have a depression angle to something because you're above it. But it doesn't change the fact what it's on. So it's just a magician's trick to make you think that the higher you go, you're seeing more Earth curve. Well, first of all, you got to have Earth curve to see it, but there's no Earth curve. You're on a plane, and you have a different angle to it. That's all.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do about this problem, because this is a randomly happening problem where, without any reason or rhyme, the thing that encodes the show just decides to randomly peg itself at 100%. Now, last time I flipped a switch, went back into the stream, and it worked perfectly. Now, my suspicion is just I'm going to restart the computer and this is going to go away. But at this point, I don't really know what to do on account of the fact that this computer is proving unreliable to do the stream. So that's a massive problem. I don't really know what to do about it, because if it can't encode the stream...
I don't know if there's anything to do.
Yesterday,
sorry, Nathan.
I was just going to say, yesterday it's sat at 40%. Today it's sat at 100. Well, I don't know what to say. What can I do? the hardware is just randomly deciding to max itself out when it's doing very little. It's doing the same as it did yesterday. So I don't really know what to say. At a time that I'm trying to build the show up and build momentum I've lost, the fucking hardware is killing me.
I did notice yesterday, but I don't know into computers. It seemed all right yesterday and everything went fine, but what I noticed on my phone on the Gilded was your Nathan Oakley icon. The name wasn't there for some reason. I could hear all you guys and you was there, but it wasn't showing on the phone. I don't know if you was aware of that or anybody else noticed it.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. All I know is that the hardware isn't doing its job. And as much as I'd like to say, oh, right, well, I'll just flip this switch, or maybe there's something I've missed, there isn't. You know, I don't know what else I can do.
I thought this was like a lot better PC than you had previously, wasn't it?
Yeah, you'd think that, wouldn't you? But unfortunately not. You know, for the last 2 fucking months, all I've done is fuck with this PC, and it's driving me to the edge of despair, if I'm honest. And while I'm watching my show die on its arse, because all I'm doing is fucking with hardware non-stop for 2 straight months, I'm sick of it. You know, so when you think you've got everything sorted, like I've said for the last 2 weeks, you then start the stream, and for some reason it can't encode 2 streams at once. It can't cope with it. Oh, right, it can cope with encoding a 1440p video stream from a game non-stop. I can test it over and over again. The minute I want to actually live stream to an audience that's set to see a scheduled show, then it doesn't work. And it doesn't seem to matter how much testing I do with it. The minute I actually start a stream that I depend on for my fucking livelihood, it stops working.
What a lovely day!